All right, the Reds, it's the post-match pint from Hotel Tier. Gareth Roberts hosting, and with Phil Blundell, Paul Johnson. The Reds have extended the lead at the top of the Premier League to 5 points. The 5 points clear going into February. I think we all would have taken that, wouldn't we, Phil?
Absolutely, and there's a weird complex where if us and City have both won this week, you'd actually feel better about things, despite the fact we'd be worse off than we are now. It's the frustration of having the opportunity to go 7 points clear and only going 5 points clear. It's not great, is it? But
yeah, there's a palpable frustration around Anfield. You could sense it coming out the ground then, and everyone's a little bit down because you've seen City get beat last night. Rafa Benitez got his song today. Hopefully he was watching that one on BT Sport. But it is like a sort of double-edged sword, isn't it? Yeah. On the one hand, as Phil says, you're disappointed that you haven't extended it to 7. But at the same time, you can't get too despondent about a 5-point lead at the top of the Premier League going into February. It's sound, isn't it? 14 games left.
It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, I think the thing about it is you look at your fixtures, don't you? That's what everyone's doing this stage of the season. And Leicester had been to Wolves last game, conceded 4. So the way we're playing and the way we played against the any team outside the top 6, as you say, Phil, we hadn't dropped a point against them. So our expectation is we go and win. But other teams aren't going to come and roll over, and Leicester didn't do that. So the frustration comes from the fact that we're expecting to win, but we want to go there and we think we can go 7 clear here tonight and put a performance in. But it didn't happen. But we should still be definitely positive because we're 5 points clear.
Where do you lie in terms of, we're doing this straight after the match, obviously, as I say, but where do you lie in terms of, not looking for blame, but like, is it a Leicester play well? Is it Liverpool don't play well? Is it both? What's the reason Liverpool don't win? I'm putting it on the spot here, Phil.
Don't think we really clicked, and I mean, there's a weird thing about scoring too early, but it basically changes their whole game plan in terms of they're getting beat, so they're able to do what they want. It frees them up a bit to do what they want. They don't have to dig in instead, and it was hard for us because they're a good side. We were talking before we started recording, and I think I did this with Palace the other day, and you look at the team, and you look at the players they've got, and you look at the 11 they put out, and you go, I think all of these you could sign them and they'd do a job for you. Yeah. Like, I'm not looking at any of their players and thinking they're terrible players who have got no part on a Premier League pitch like you do. There's some Premier League teams you look at and go, you're all atrocious. Some of you are terrible. I wouldn't want you anywhere near it. But Pereira's a good right back. Centre backs are both good. Johnny Evans has won the title with Manchester United. Ben Chilwell, England's left back. Ndidi and Mendy in the middle are really, really good at what they do. Albrighton gets up and down, works hard, puts a ball in. Madison will probably get 50 caps for England. Yeah. There's Jamie Vardy, we know all about him, and Damari Gray, we've been linked with in the past. They're a good side. I mean, you should still be beating them, but we're not going to play. What are we going to play? 30? No, we're going to play our winning. Are we 14, 28 games against the non-big 6 team, so to speak. You're not going to win all 28, and we've got to January the 30th, having won 16 out of 16. So sometimes you just got to go fair enough. Yeah. You're not going to win no team gets to the end of the season on like 105 points, which is what we were on course for at the start of the night. Yeah. You just got to shrug your shoulders, get on with it, and go again on Monday night.
Go to the next game. Yeah, I mean, were you the same as everyone else then, Jacko, when you and your mates, when you saw the team, where you were like, what's he doing here?
Yeah.
Who's at the back? Is it 3 at the back? Is Henderson right back? Which he was.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have had Henderson right back, as in when I looked at the team.
Does any of your mates remember Blackburn away when Henderson ended up right back then?
Yeah.
I remember that. I was made up. I was like, hey, he's played there before.
Yeah. That's right.
Flanagan got the goalkeeper sent off, didn't he?
Right.
And then got subbed about 2 minutes later.
Yeah. No, so when you look at the lineup comes out, you look at it and you think, because there was someone on radio saying they're going to play Ronaldo there, I was thinking, I can't see that either. But as they line up, you think, well, and going up so early as well, you think, well, we'll come on, we're all right here. But again, in a weird kind of way sometimes, you don't know where to stick or twist in a little bit, because Leicester they kind of just kept their shape very well. And they're very quick on the break, as you say, because all those quality players they've got. So there was times where you're thinking, I was happy just to keep the ball, 1-0 up here, but then there seemed to be a bit of frustration in the crowd. I think sometimes we've got to keep our heads as well, because it was like, let's go on again. Well, we don't have to. And I think, we probably all said that, it's a silly foul that we give away in injury time in the first half. They're both fantastic, but he gives one away there, and you just think, just stand him up. He's going nowhere. It was 2-on-1. But these things happen, don't they? And you could probably pick the bones out of the goal itself, the clearance, and then I think Van Dijk probably, he's pushing out, and Maguire times he's run well for the goal. But Yeah, the lineup, I think it was at that maybe the one time where this season the injuries have kind of made you go, okay, we kind of look a bit short now. And you mentioned about the bench off show, and you suddenly look at the bench, you think there's not much there either, but nothing to worry about because hopefully we're going to have 3 or 4 coming back in the next couple of weeks. But your point was definitely valid, Phil.
When you've seen the team, what did you think as well, mate? Because you know you see Fabinho come on, and I thought he did well when he came on. He was positive. He looked decent. He didn't look like he was struggling in any way. And so obviously this is all with hindsight and without the knowledge of the sports sciences that Mel would and all that. But my first thought was, well couldn't we start with this fella then?
Well, I also thought it was a bit weird that he didn't go to right back when he came on as well and move Henderson to midfield, given he plays right back for Brazil. And Jordan Henderson doesn't play right back for anyone. So I was surprised when he came on. I just basically expected Henderson to move into the middle, Fabinho to go right back and that. But he looked sharp. He looked good. It didn't look like he was carrying an injury or anything. So maybe it's one of those. Obviously, as you say, we don't know the ins and outs of the injury.
Well, your other shout, which I think was fair as well, and again, it was conversations here a few times around the cop and on the way up to the ground, was the idea that because of the bench, as Jacko mentions, you start with Shaqiri because he's your change, isn't he? He's your man you bring off, you bring on to influence the game, and because he's already on and he goes off, and then you're looking at Lallana and Sturridge to influence the game, and it was a bit. I don't think anyone believed in them.
22 with that Shaqiri thing, though, isn't it? Because if you don't start him, who do you start? Because we played Keita in a sort of deeper, more central role than you've seen him in so far, and that's you'd probably play Keita there. But then who'd you play where Keita? Did you play for if Fabinho was fully fit? Would you have played him? Would that have worked a bit better? I just think you need options to come off that bench, and it doesn't look very deep at all. I mean, we've got a few missing, and we'll be all right eventually. But Shaqiri seems better when there's something for him to come on and change, and he's
stuck into it.
I think someone mentioned a few weeks ago that he looks like the kind of player who watches the game and figures out what he can change. He can't. It's a lot harder to do when he's in the mix in the middle of it, and he can't see what's behind him and he can't see what's left and right. He's not got a good view of the pitch from on the pitch, bizarrely.
What do you make, Jacko, of the sort of the Keita conundrum, if you like? Because I've seen sort of some Anfield Wrap contributors going at each other about this, off camera. They're not all mates, but like there's sort of a catch-22 thing, isn't there? I think everyone would say, if you're being fair about it, the fella you saw on YouTube, the fella you saw in the Bundesliga, we haven't really seen him yet in a red shirt. Equally though, games like tonight, he's got to contribute somewhere between now and the end of the season, hasn't he? And not just because of his price tag and who he is, just simply because everyone in the squad's going to contribute, because this is the way it is. I mean, you've looked at that tonight and you've seen Spurs come back and beat Watford, but you've seen Chelsea get tongued, City get beat last night, and United all of a sudden wheels fall off a little bit with them as well after their little run, and it seems like everyone's struggling a little bit. Maybe the schedule catching up with them, and so maybe the schedule's caught up with us as well, and the fact that we've had a few injuries, we've had to make a few changes, but we've got to get sorted out to Keita.
I thought at times tonight he whether it was being in the deeper position, which again was surprising because you'd expect him to be, like you said, Phil, more effective in behind, obviously Firmino. But at times I thought he did some nice stuff tonight, which I was like, come on, because I think I know myself. I want to see, this player we saw playing for Leipzig. You think, he's going to be really clever for us. And there was a couple of flashes, wasn't there? The Palace team was the one that stands out.
Double nutmeg.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, quality. So I thought there was a few things better, but then he looks a massive confidence player to me. And then a couple of things didn't go his way. And I look at him, and I think he feels like the pressure of the crowd. And sometimes our crowd, I don't think they do it on purpose, but if there's a few groans, etc., he looks like one of those players who think, oh,
shit.
Yeah. And it is, we've had players like that in the past, and you think back to like someone like there, who no matter what the crowd did, groans here, he still showed for the ball. And I think Keita's probably at the moment one where he's thinking, I might just hide a little bit, do some neat and tidy stuff, but then again he just seems to fade out of the game then as it went on. But I'm still hopeful that he can, and he might be one of those who, last 10 games of the season, if he suddenly clicks, he could be one of those people who can get in midfield. And he looks like, what he was doing when we saw him at Leipzig, he was beating a man, wasn't he? He was playing like this, centre mid.
With them today, where it looked like he just didn't have quite the confidence or the belief to do it. And he can do it, because we've seen him do it on video. I know it's only a YouTube video, but you've seen him do it. And he just didn't look like he had the confidence. And I think a lot of it might be a confidence issue.
And he's going back to his sort of default setting, which he's been put at the moment, because I'll get it and I'll give it, I'll get it and I'll give it. But then you think, you know what, play. But then again, it's circumstances, and I just think he looks a massive confidence player, and hopefully if he gets a little run, you know, he'll get his confidence, and then we might get something.
The most involved he's looked in the game.
Yeah.
Like he felt more in it. I mean, he didn't do anything particularly. Like he should have had a penalty really, but then he probably also should have taken the shot on it before he was fouled.
I think, you know, he was neat and tidy in the box. It was good movement. He was intelligent. Yeah. And you just hope that that's going to be the Naby we see going forward from this point.
You just mentioned the penalty shout there, Phil. I know Neil Atkinson has a rule on his sort of the post-match podcast that he doesn't talk about referees, but I'm not Neil Atkinson. So should we slaughter the fucking referee?
We should have the penalty. Harry Maguire, the fellow who scored, should have been sent off, and he's basically gone on TV and went, yeah.
I did catch him, I didn't mean it.
He went to court him, I didn't mean it. I'm glad to see it was a yellow card. It was probably like, no, if you caught him there, you've denied the goal scorer opportunity. It's a textbook red card, isn't it? Yeah. And I don't understand how you can give a foul but only give a yellow card. Because if you give the foul, you've basically said that's what he's done, and then you've not punished him for doing it, and it doesn't make any sense. It's illogical.
You often do with Atkinson. He's one of those people. He books. Was it Henderson in our right back position? Matip. Sorry, yeah.
I didn't even think it was a foul. You know?
There was a shout from Bios, because we're on the other side. I've seen the main stand. There's a shout that it wasn't a foul. But once he goes past him and he decides to blow it's an easy yellow. Yeah. But for me, this is Atkinson all over. He looks at that, and that is a completely different position on the pitch. Vardy's down the left wing, he's still got loads to do. And it's like he goes, well, I booked him, so I book him. No, as you say, if you're given the foul, your decision is, what's the next thing that Marnie's going to do? The next thing that Marnie's going to do, he's in on goal, and it's a shot. So and again, he's typical Atkinson.
It frustrates with referees, because there's one in the first half where Salah jumps and Maguire barges him in the back, goes down, play on. 5 seconds later, I think it was someone called maybe Ndidi in the back. And he gives a foul. Yeah. You're just like, how can the same thing happen? The same thing happens in the space of 5 seconds.
As well, where basically he just doesn't move out the way and subs out the appeals and doesn't get it. But then the same thing happened the other end and does get it. Yeah, there wasn't consistency during the game, was there? And I know this is like not the first time these words have been said, and probably not the first time these words have been said about that referee, but there was one where everyone was up for it, said that's a free kick, referee, give the free kick. It looked a blatant free kick, it was cop end, and he didn't give it. Maybe I'm just imagining it, but I'm sure he just puffed his chest out a little bit and went, He does that. I'm at Anfield and I'm not giving a decision because I'm a boss referee. Look at me, I'm on the telly. Yeah. And I just think, fuck off, it's not about you.
Yeah. The worst part is he's one of the better ones, which is damning, because he's not very good.
Yeah.
Any other
it makes you feel low, doesn't it, that it's about him?
Yeah. That might be harsh, but that's how I feel sort of straight after the match, and it is the post-match pint. Any other sort of coulda, woulda, shouldas from the games? Any other bits and bobs that you thought, I wish he'd done that, or I wish he'd done that, or are we just, do we think we've pulled the bones out of it there?
I think obviously, you know, ideally we'd want probably more out of Mo again. You know, I thought he kind of was drifting in and out. I thought
Maguire just was like hugging him all night, wasn't he?
Well, it reminded me of last season. If you remember, last season Maguire was doing, and then Mo turned him. Mo turned on the cop end, rolled him and scored. And you've got to give him credit. He's a good defender. He shouldn't have been on the pitch. He probably
Manchester United tried to pay £75 million for him, and something that tells you something.
Yeah, so I'm giving that one.
He might look like a fridge freezer, but he's a decent centre half.
I remember when I first saw him, I thought, what's this lad about? You know what I mean?
Do you remember he played for Hull away at Chelsea, and it's the first time everyone really saw him, and everyone just went, he's getting the ball and skinning 6 Chelsea players and popping up in the penalty box, and you're like, hang on, who's this lad?
Yeah, and maybe at times all of our front three, you know, Bobby was unlucky a couple of one where he makes a good save, second half, Schmeichel, and obviously I thought Mane was probably our best player.
Yeah, he was, I agree with that.
So, but it almost seems as if they're all just doing it at different spells. If they just clicked a bit like last season where boom, 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 and a move comes off, and I'm sure it will, you know what I mean, but that's probably one thing I'd say. I just want them to. But
we keep saying that though, don't we? But I think it's a good thing, and like I mentioned on one of the other shows we did, or I wrote a piece, I can't remember, I'm confused. But Milner did the podcast with Graham Hunter, and Mane did a recent interview as well, and both of them were saying what we've been saying, what we've all been saying as a group of fans, I don't just mean us, which is that still feel like there's more gears to go to, still feel like they will click at some point. You know, I was thinking if we, obviously before the equalise, but you know, I'm sort of thinking about doing this when I'm in the ground, which is weird. But before they'd scored, I was thinking this is going to be another one where when we're talking about it later, we're going to say it was a mature performance again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it wasn't fast, it wasn't lightning, it wasn't all that slick football. But if that's to come and we're 5 points clear at the top of the league, that's all right, isn't it?
It doesn't even necessarily have to actually come. It's
No.
just a weird thing. It
Yeah,
doesn't
just keep
have
getting
to.
the
Doesn't
results.
have to.
Yeah. Man United definitely won the league, didn't they? Where it never really came. They just won.
Sure,
They just ground it out.
I'm not old enough to remember, but I'm sure we probably did as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, we have games that they happen. And they've happened every season since I've been going to match. They've happened every season since you two have been going to match.
Yeah.
And they happen. There's 60-year-old, 70-year-old fellas who go, well, I've seen the same thing in 1967.
Yeah.
They just happen, and you've just got to shrug your shoulders, get on with it, and move on to Monday night, really.
I feel, by the way, that we're now deep enough into this show where I can safely mention
The P word.
the P word. So you might know by now that the Anfield Wrap got absolutely slaughtered. Not me, Hastings, bad. But
I think us three weren't guilty. Us three were not guilty of this.
Jack. No, but there was a bit of a chat on an Anfield Wrap video about the pitch at Manchester City. And it went viral, it's fair to say, and it was in the Guardian and all kinds of stuff. It was great coverage for the Anfield Wrap, do you know what I mean?
Best free advertising could possibly happen.
Everyone became internet celebrities. But did you get onto tonight that Liverpool manipulated the pitch? So second half, they know they're attacking the Kop. It was covered in hailstones, stroke, ice, whatever. They sweep the wings, they sweep the box. And the end that Leicester were attacking, they just went, yeah, go ahead. If you are going flying on that, fucking all the best. Yeah. And it was like
point proven then, really, isn't it?
Well, it was almost as though these things do happen, and maybe it wasn't that.
That's exactly what home advantage is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You play with what you've got, and you manipulate it to your advantage. It's exactly what it is.
Definitely. And I like the nice little pattern outside of their box at the Kop end. Did you see it? It was
Too far away.
It was too far away, no, from where I was. Like, I'm quite high. But I don't think they planned it. It was a nice pattern as well. So it might have been over the cameras. So.
Tell you what, I think we've done well to talk this much about that game because there is one way to sum it up, and that was that it was pretty shit. And the fact that Jacko was picking out patterns on the pitch.
There you go.
Doing a bit of art. Garden as well with Alan Titchmarsh and Paul Jackson.
Fucking big etch sketch on the pitch. So yeah, that's been the post-match pint. There's also a post-match podcast as well. The boys are actually outside, the mad bastards.
There's a heat out there, to be fair. There's a patio heater, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Another reason to come to Hotel Tia. They've got patio heaters. So they're under a patio heater recording the post-match show outside. Now, if you don't subscribe to the Anfield Wrap, now is a good time to do so because we're in a really exciting time. We're 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Those boys are talking about that now. So if you want more of this kind of thing, but with a different set of people, go to theanfieldwrap.com, subscribe, have a go with the podcast. Loads of stuff on the website as well. Do recommend Ben Johnson's player ratings because whatever mood you're in, there'll be a line in there somewhere that you'll just think, where's he pulled that from, the mad bastard? And it'll cheer you up. So that's been the post-match pints. Nice one to Phil, nice one to Paul. Up the fucking Reds, 5 points clear at the top of the Premier League.